with techniques to manipulate the streets. Ready for run heats, racing like freaks to the top of with them beats. Treats, suckling the goat's milk fresh from the teats, 6 teats, cheeping from the lamb, piper in the fleets.
Yeah.
Virgin,
Six got my
but the
voice.
virgin. Hush now, she sleeps. Oh, you bar sheeps. Listen to the screams and the shrieks from the mountain peaks. It's the flocking of the Nazarenes' cheeks. I just wanna save you peeps from the slavery weeks. Hearken when scripture speaks. Brick upon brick the plan.
Welcome to the Maggot Show. This is your host, Maggot, on September the 3rd, 2010. Hurrah, it's me. I'm back. Let's see. I'll just have a look, see if there's any exciting news for a change. Braveheart looks so excited already. Oh. Pakistan rally bomb kills dozens. Quetta rally suicide bomb kills dozens. That's the headline. A suicide bombing has killed at least 50 people in Quetta, southwestern Pakistan, police say. Nearly 80 others were injured in the explosion at the Shia Muslim rally in the Mizan Chowk area. Pakistani Taliban militants said they had carried out the bombing. It was a second attack on Pakistan's Shia Muslim minority this week. Bombs in Lahore on Wednesday killed dozens in an attack also claimed by the Taliban. The bombings come at a time when Pakistan is grappling with unprecedented floods that have displaced millions of people. TV pictures show chaotic street scenes in the aftermath of Friday's explosion. Survivors fire guns in the air, said police. Doesn't quite make sense. Reports said several Pakistani journalists were amongst those killed. Shia leader Allama Abbas Kumaili appealed for calm, telling a Pakistani TV channel, "We understand these are attempts to bring Sunni and Shia sects against each other." Organised by the Shia Imamiyya Students Association, the rally was one of many that take place in Pakistan each year on the last Friday of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan Ding Dong to celebrate the Palestinian demand for a homeland. Shia Muslims make up an estimated 1 in 5 of Pakistan's Sunni-dominated population of 160 million. The attack comes 2 days after bomb attacks on a Shia procession in Lahore killed 31 people on Wednesday. At least 2 of the attacks were suicide bombings, police said. The Pakistani Taliban said they carried out the blasts in revenge for the killing of a Sunni leader last year. Earlier on Friday, in another attack on religious minorities in northwest Pakistan, a suicide bomber killed 1 person outside a mosque of the Ahmadi sect. Members of the community have often been the victims of sectarian attacks. While the Ahmadis consider themselves Muslim and follow all Islamic rituals, they were declared non-Muslim in Pakistan in 1973. 35. Oh, this video's got no sound, that's not much fun. Ooh, earthquake hits South New Zealand. This is a BBC article. Strong earthquake rocks New Zealand's South Island. I think that's quite unusual. I don't think it gets hit that much by earthquakes. I haven't heard of it before. New Zealand being hit by an earthquake. A 7 magnitude earthquake has struck off New Zealand's South Island, the US Geological Survey has said. Okay, the epicenter was 55 kilometers, 35 miles northwest of Christchurch. at a depth of 12 kilometres, 7.5 miles if it added. Police reported widespread minor damage and local power cuts. Christchurch is New Zealand's second largest city with a population of about 386,000, but no casualties have yet been reported. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Centre said there was a risk of a local tsunami. Pastrami. New Zealand lies at the southern end of the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, and above an area of the Earth's crust where the Pacific Plate converges with the Indo-Australian Plate. The country experiences more than 14,000 earthquakes a year. Oh, there you go. See what I don't know on that one. Of which only about 20 of a magnitude are in excess of 5. So the last fatal earthquake was in 1968, when a 7.1 magnitude tremor killed 3 people on the South Island's west coast. Shops demolished. The earthquake struck at 4:35 in the morning on Saturday local time. That's 4:35 in the afternoon in the UK on Friday GMT. Strange. Oh yeah, it's exact opposite sides of the world or something. The USGS said when most people would have been asleep. Radio New Zealand reported that the quake was felt as a long rolling motion lasting up to 40 seconds, and the area is continuing to feel aftershocks. The USGS said one aftershock had a magnitude of 5.7. The local newspaper, The Press, said it was felt widely across the South Island, including Christchurch and the nearby port city of Timaru. Police said damage and power outages have been reported as far afield as Dunedin, 360 kilometres, 223 miles to the southwest, he added. There is a row of shops completely demolished right in front of me, Colleen Simpson told the press, adding that many people in Christchurch are out in the street, in their pyjamas, looking scared and worried. But even more scared if I was there out in not in my pyjamas. Suzanne Burbeck, who lives in the city centre, said, "It was absolutely shocking. We're all terrified, scared of what's going to happen next." I can't do an Australian accent. I'm trying to. I was asleep when suddenly the house started shaking and there was this smashing sound. I thought a large truck had just driven through the front window.
Why don't you, hey, Maggot,
Yeah.
practice your the accent, the Australian accent, by saying "blooming onion."
Blooming onion? Blooming onion.
Blooming onion.
Blooming onion.
Yes, it works.
Okay.
It works.
I'm now sitting on my bed, surrounded by broken glass, and I have no idea what to do. Is that any better?
There you
It goes. The walls and roof are just hanging. It's terrifying. She added.
Hey, Mike.
It's truth. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Blooming.
Throw some
onions.
ship on the bob. No, that's actually I just did your language.
Yeah. Put some ship on the
I
barbie.
make language up. Well, I mix your language up with their language all the time. You know what? I think they even sound the same.
Well, it's not too much different to the Cockney accent, really. It's sort of like a strange Cockney accent, and just like that Cockney accent can cover. That's London accent. Yeah, it's what.
Oh.
Yeah, what London localers call the accent.
Maggot, do I have a funny accent to you?
Sort of an American accent, sort of a nasal, but Americans usually have nasal accents.
Yeah, well, I've been told. Sam said that I whined. I sounded like I was whining when I talk. So,
Lenny Bruce is the one who whines. Was the one who whines.
all right, I'm out of here, asshole.
Kiss my ass. There you go.
Later. Is that an American accent? Try it again. Say "kiss my ass" again.
Kiss my ass.
That's that's like a New Yorker accent.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's New Yorker. That's not. Mine is a more country, southern kind of. I'm from Florida, so I have a Florida accent. I don't say dude.
Dude.
I don't write.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. All right, I'm out. Just making fun of you, trying to make fun of other people's voices. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun.
Later, Maggie.
Okay. Yeah, very strong aftershock still going here, he said. I'll give enough on the Australian accent for a moment. In fact, the moving has not really stopped since it started nearly an hour ago. Didn't even stop when he's talking. Got the Sun. I opened a whole bunch of pages and they're all just rubbish. Okay, stuff to do, movies. mildly interesting. So this is amazing lack of exciting news that I'm picking up on anyway. Looking at the Guardian at the moment. Oh, this is a bit hopeful. Oh, come on. Okay, it was 2 lines. The whole article was 2 lines at the beginning. Middle East peace talks are doomed to fail, says Ahmadinejad. Iran's president urges Palestinians to continue armed resistance against Israel at Al-Quds Day rally. Al-Quds? Is it like Scuds? Or Duds? Is it Dud Al-Qaeda? The Iranian president calls on Palestinians to fight on against Israel. Fight them on against them. At a rally in Tehran, Iran's president Mahmoud Ahmadinejad today launched an angry attack on doomed US-brokered Middle East peace talks and urged the Palestinians to continue armed resistance to Israel. Ahmadinejad used the annual Al-Quds Jerusalem Day rally in Tehran to scorn the Obama administration's efforts in launching the first Arab-Israeli negotiations in nearly 2 years. What do they want to talk about? Who are they representing? What are they going to talk about? The hardline Iranian leader said of the Palestinian negotiating team in Washington. Who gave them the right to sell a piece of Palestinian land? The people of Palestine and the people of the region will not allow them to sell even an inch of Palestinian soil to the enemy. The negotiations are stillborn and doomed. Iran supports Hamas, the Islamist Palestinian movement that controls the Gaza Strip, and opposes talks by Mahmoud Abbas, the Western-backed PLO leader who is based in the West Bank. Its armed wing claimed responsibility for killing 4 Israeli settlers near Hebron on Tuesday. Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and other groups have...
Maggot, I posted a video. What you just said there, a lot of people don't understand what you say about the Israeli settlers.
Yeah.
When they hear Israeli settlers, they think, oh, well, those are just guys out in Israel somewhere, and these Muslim people keep going over and attacking them. There's actually a lot more to that.
Okay.
I just played a little while ago. It pretty much explained a lot of it, how the Jews got that country, or as Israel got was put there in the first place, and how Zionism took over Israel and started expanding. And the settlers are in actual when the first land was given to the Jews.
Yeah.
It was split where the really good resources was given to the Jews,
yeah,
and the Palestinian people that lived there, that had their beautiful place, and they had multicultural, multi-religion. They were actually put on like little spots. They're like, here, you go into this little area here. The rest of this stuff is theirs.
Yeah.
And that's like where the Gaza Strip, and then that's how that became. And then they actually took more. They took more and actually gave them even smaller parts. And they keep taking more in order for them to have control over the Palestinian areas.
Yeah.
They actually have like settlements inside of their Palestinian settlements that warrants, because they put these little camps up for people to go in and they're able to send the soldiers in, and that creates the checkpoints. And so they have their little piece of land, but on their land they have to go through checkpoints, and they're subject to being killed and sniped and really bad shit.
Yeah.
So it's like they have to live in cages now. It's better, in most areas they would prefer living into a cage than where they are now.
Yeah. So an open prison, isn't
when
it?
When they hear the Israeli settlements,
yeah,
it's not actually what you think it is.
Yeah.
They're actually on the very little bit of property that, I don't even know. It's not even their property no more, and it's like mostly rubble.
Yeah.
It's like piles of houses.
Yeah.
They're houses. There's like piles.
Yeah,
of houses.
it just means that like put down sticks or whatever, put up sticks at an area, and sort of like every area is under dispute. So I mean, they could have it taken away from them, couldn't they, by armed force?
Yeah, well, they have it. They're being wiped out every day. More and more land gets taken. What's going on over there? If people just only knew, I'm 29 years old. And I guess I never really even thought about how Israel became Israel. I never actually even thought about it. You think, oh, it's always been Israel, and you hear, oh, they've always been at war.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
I
think Israel isn't Israel mentioned in the Bible or something as the promised land and all that sort of thing, the land of the Israelites and stuff like that.
That's taken from actually Judaism.
Okay.
What's going on now is Zionism,
Mm.
and that's totally different. They can't even be in the. They wouldn't even. It was created like Darwin and shit.
Mm.
It's created by it was like non-religion people. They were like atheists and shit.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh no, the reason I was mentioning the 4 Israeli settlers killed is because the massive retaliation they've had against it. Because 4 Israeli settlers were killed, and so far they've captured over 150 Muslims in response to it.
Oh yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah,
That's why I was shocked
yeah.
horroring about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to jump in real quick to say where these settlements are.
Yeah.
And what actually are the settlements. More than likely, if anything happened, there was a couple soldiers that got killed. I would really like to see some evidence on the settlement getting attacked.
Yeah.
Did anybody die in the settlement getting attacked or what?
Well, I mean, Israel being what it is, I mean, you're bound to get satellite footage of it if it had happened, if they wanted to release that. So I'm assuming they have got
Right.
satellite footage of it. That place is, it's like hot territory. So for some reason, it's totally hot territory. But
But
everyone.
you would never see it.
Yeah.
You would never ever.
Just,
Listen, real quick.
Yeah.
Basic sum this up. The settlements, are not real. They're just there so that the soldiers can occupy that area.
Sure.
Which is all throughout their area, their pile of rocks.
Yeah, it's like a camp. It's like camps, like in the Roman times when the Romans set up camps. That was just like a
That's
group
how
of.
people basically do.
Yeah.
And the few that have houses, they have humongous. I mean, they're super, super big bulldozers. They're not normal bulldozers.
Killdozers, I think. I can't remember. I think that might be what it is.
Yeah, these things
Yeah.
here are just.
They're sort of like
massive.
tanks. They cross between tanks and bulldozers. It's like basically a tank with a bulldozer front on it, and it's all totally shielded up. The window screens.
They are the same color. They are like bright ass yellow.
Yeah.
They're not green or nothing. They actually sprung for the bright color.
Hmm.
They want they want their neighbors to see their houses being demolished by these big yellow things.
Mm.
I don't know. I sent that movie over. Here, you know what? I'll post it again, Maggot.
Yeah, I didn't see it first time.
Uh,
dailymotion.com video philosophy of
Yeah.
designism. Okay. Well, did you
Real
play
good.
that on the show on your show or earlier?
I did. I actually did play it. I played it. There's actually a shit ton more from this lineup. They're actually books that are done into these videos. And I'm actually going to get a list, and I'm going to start putting them. I'll put them up.
Yeah.
So I think we should all maybe. I like having the 5 o'clock hour free, and the 4 and the 5 o'clock hour, because I'm actually probably going to throw in another one of these videos. To his time slots, and I mean, we could just sit back, grab a beer,
Yeah.
grab your bowl, cup of coffee, whatever is your vice that you got out there.
I got wine in front of me. I haven't started it yet.
Sit back and we'll check out these shows. I mean, that last one there, it was awesome. Really, tonight when you have nothing to do, throw that one in and watch it. Seriously, a lot of good information there. All right, man. Just jumped into just to let people know what these settlements are. Instead of settlements, let's call them military bases.
Yeah. Or camps, military camps. Yeah.
Military camps, yeah. That's basically it's soldiers and tanks and killdozers.
Yeah.
That's where they are. Oh my God, we need to wake up, guys.
I know. And the name Killdozers actually came from comic books as well, and it was around since the 1980s. I mean, it does sound just like something from a comic book, but it's something straight out of 2000 AD, which is the sort of like sort of brainwashing comic book that we have over here. It's funny.
I feel so bad that I just recently, basically in the last best year and a half probably, dove into the Zion area of the New World Order. It was one of those things that I was always skirting over, Because the Jews and the Christians, I didn't want to touch on anything like that. I wanted to stay neutral with it until I found out, actually it's a humongous part.
Yeah.
It's basically it's the head of the dragon there. It's you can't get away from it. You really can't. And where they are falls the whole Palestine thing is another thing that I guess I never cared. I was stupid kid, I guess. I never really cared to even think about what was going on over there. It wasn't my business.
Well, it's affecting America no more than it did before. Anyway, now I think.
Yeah, well, it's still
like rubbing your nose in it, sort of thing.
Dying. There's babies dying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to be. I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to heaven where there's people right now. I would not want to spend my eternity where somebody is that does not care about babies dying. They'll look the other way. I don't want to spend. I don't want to spend no time with these people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I really can't stand it. I really could. I can give two shits about the taxes. I can really care less about taxes. The only thing that affects me about the taxes is that money's going over to Israel, and it's going to fund really bad things happening.
Yeah, yeah.
That's I guess my fight lies with the people dying. More importantly, babies dying.
Yeah.
I don't know, Maggot. I'm sorry, I'm jumping off right now.
Okay.
I'll just give you a quick shout out about that movie.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right. Cheers. Okay. I think we're up to this bit. The fate of Palestine is determined in Palestine and through the resistance of the Palestinian people, rather than in Washington, Paris, and London, Ahmadinejad said in his live TV broadcast. Iran's Al-Quds Day event was Quds. It kind of sounds like Kurds, like Kurds and Way. Quds Day event was founded in 1979 to march the solidarity of the Islamic Revolution with Palestinians, and is held on the last Friday of the Muslim holy fasting month of Ramadan. A ding dong. Iranian state media reported that millions of people turned out in Tehran and elsewhere for an Al-Quds rallies. But the regime took preemptive measures to silence opposition supporters who have managed to exploit previous official holidays to show their defiance. The few foreign journalists based in Iran operate under severe restrictions. Mehdi Karoubi, one of the two reformist candidates defeated by Ahmadinejad in last summer's presidential race, was prevented from joining the Tehran rally. Karoubi's website reported that Revolutionary Guardsmen of Basij militiamen had surrounded his home, while supporters of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, smashed windows and beat up one of his guards. I thought that was the one they had in 1980. Maybe they just like the name, so they give him. He's come back or something. Got somebody with the same name. Mir Hossein Mousavi, leader of the defeated Green Movement, who claims his victory was stolen by Ahmadinejad, condemned the attack. He said it proved the government's enmity against Israel as an excuse for attacking opposition leaders. Karoubi and figures like him and other freedom seekers are the real enemies of authoritarians. He said, Iran's opposition has not managed to hold any big demonstrations in recent months. Last February, it cancelled plans for a rally on the anniversary of the 1979 revolution. Since the election, the authorities have detained thousands and tried scores of charges of fomenting unrest, with more than 80 sentenced to prison and 10 to death. The chief staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, Hassan Firouzabadi, warned meanwhile that Iran would retaliate against Israel's nuclear facility if Israel attacked its nuclear activities. Our developed weapons can hit any part of the Zionist regime, Israel in brackets. We hope not to be forced to attack their nuclear facility, Firouzabadi told the semi-official news agency. Iran denies it intends to build nuclear weapons, but is under UN sanctions to force it to stop enriching uranium. So, it's just more gearing up for World War, whether it's World War 3 or actually 2 or whatever, doesn't really matter.
It's World War 3.
Yeah.
There's
nuclear war.
This will be the one.
I know if people can argue though that it's like World War Two was just a continuation of World War One. You know, World War One just like carried on, but you know that's a bit technical.
And it would be World War Part Two, anyways. Correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, it's sort of like
So,
defeating the issue. It doesn't really matter whether it's 2, 3, 4, or 5. You know, don't really want another one.
okay, well, how about World War One Part One, and then World War One Part Two,
Yeah,
and then we got World War Two. It's a totally different movie.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
different special
Well,
effects and stuff, and
yeah,
mutant elephants.
it's
and
more,
all this.
more exactly. Yeah, it's like the new Tarantino film, like the other ones, but a little bit more blood.
Yeah, exactly.
And they played some race card in it to for the advertisement.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Do you have Jessica Alba's in her underwear? Just throwing that out there, Maggot.
McGarvey mock chicken song. Do I really want to look at that one? I load it in the background. I think I read that one earlier. It's not so interesting, that one. Got UK has closer tie moves closer to military partnership with France. That was pretty inevitable. I'll do this one. US jobless figures offer a brief reprieve for Obama. About 54,000 jobs lost, far fewer than the 100,000 expected, easing fears of a second US recession. Barack Obama pledged to bring forward a raft of fresh measures to boost American jobs growth after the White House received a fillip from better than expected employment figures for August, seeking to put pressure on Congress to provide an additional stimulus for the struggling US economy. Obama said he was looking at tax breaks to encourage businesses to hire labor, as well as infrastructure programs, investment in green energy, and an extension of middle-class tax cuts. I'll be addressing a broader package of ideas next week. There you go. Amazing. He told reporters in the White House Rose Garden after the eagerly awaited non-farm payrolls for August showed a drop of 54,000, half the drop that Wall Street had been fearing. The fall in payrolls was a result of 114,000 workers hired temporarily for the US Census being laid off, with private jobs registering a 67,000 gain. We are confident that we are moving in the right direction. Well, we want to keep this recovery moving stronger and accelerate the job growth that is needed so desperately all across the country, Obama said. However, the data probably do little to take the political heat off Obama over his handling of the economy or improve the Democratic Party's chances in November's midterm congressional elections. Job creation last month was insufficient to keep up with growth in the US labour market, with the result that the unemployment rate edged up from 9.5% to 9.6%. Meanwhile, there were warning signs of a slowdown in the services sector, which accounts for 3/4 of the output of the US economy. The Non-Manufacturing Institute for Supply Management recorded a drop in the index from 54.3 to 51.5, the lowest reading for 7 months. Any reading above 50 indicates that output is expanding. Oh, it was such massive expansion. Analysts said the jobs data would provide breathing space for the Federal Reserve, which has been considering extending quantitative easing, whatever that means, if the jobs report is inconsistent with fears that a sharp slowdown in the economy is underway. This report, just if, well, I think it means, this report, together with other recent data, will convince the Fed to refrain from launching a new asset purchase program at this month's meeting, said Dean Makey, chief US economist at Barclays Capital in New York. Okay, I'll do this one. UK moves closer to military partnership with France. Aircraft carriers, oh dear, unmanned drones and tanker aircraft amongst possible projects considered from ongoing French cooperation. Those aircraft carriers just supposedly just like a complete nightmare as far as fuel consumption is concerned, and they're totally rubbish, like military wise. You know, they got almost no defences. They got to be defended by having loads of expensive aircraft on them all the time. Just really sort of rubbish idea. The Defence Secretary Liam Fox today spoke of the prospect of close military cooperation with France, a country he called Britain's natural partner in Europe. Fox described France as Britain's major Western ally, along with the US, after a meeting in Paris with his French counterpart Hervé Morin. These are natural partnerships. We intend to develop them for reasons of our mutual security, he said. Amongst a range of projects suitable for closer cooperation, he singled out Europe's new military transport aircraft, the A400M. Europe has a chronic shortage of large aircraft which can carry troops and military equipment. Defence officials told The Guardian after other possible areas of cooperation, including unmanned drone flights and tanker aircraft used to refuel warplanes, while the two ministers dismissed the idea of sharing aircraft carriers as unrealistic. They'll all get all their underwear mixed up and everybody wear French knickers. The English troops end up wearing French knickers. Officials are looking at the scope for shared operations and the use of each other's military platforms. One problem is that British defence ministers have so far opted for the hugely expensive US short takeoff Joint Strike Fighter for the Navy's two proposed new air carriers, while French carrier-borne planes are launched by catapult. Yes, wooden catapults. One option is to scrap plans to buy the JCF for both carriers and turn one of them into a less expensive, more adaptable ship. The carriers are due to enter service in 2016 and 2018 at an estimated cost of £5.2 billion. It's like 1.5, isn't it? So something like about $8 billion or something, I think. Fox stressed the coalition government's willingness to engage in stronger bilateral cooperation with France. He added, "And why France? Because there are two things that matter most when it comes to defence cooperation: the willingness to deploy and the willingness to spend on the research and development required to maintain modern military capabilities. That makes France a natural European partner for the United Kingdom." Fox said it was not simply a response to budgetary pressures. It has to be driven by wider security interests. Morin said the two countries would come up with precise proposals by the end of October after Britain's Strategic Defence and Security Review. I don't think anybody would be interested in listening to the life and times of Yves St. Laurent. Might be, but doubt it.
I am.
You are? Okay. The only thing is that they're putting adverts in the front of the videos. Okay, yeah. I know, they put adverts in front of the videos, so I don't know, you'd have to like play it silently for the advert to go out.
Okay.
Yeah, like following up to that article, they look like they're talking, but they're breaking down all the items that they're going to have to share between the UK and France. They were discussing the benefits of the benefits of sharing nuclear submarines. So I mean, you actually have like French and English troops sharing changing rooms and stuff like that, and you know they're gonna have different uniforms and stuff.
La.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. That's like the English troops end up wearing French knickers. They get their knickers in a twist. I know. So yeah, I mean it's all part of the it's the slow creeping movement. Probably not that slow on the ground level, but it's the movement towards a unified world army, by way of a European army. So
it sounds like it.
Yeah, it's just.
But I mean, the French and the English don't get on that much.
No, I know. They're just like they're close to like cats and dogs.
It's like the Ontario and Quebec don't get on.
Yeah. Nobody gets on well with France. Nobody likes them.
I know. 'Cause they don't shave.
They don't shave. No, the women don't. They don't wash.
Don't shave.
Women aren't they're not very keen on washing either. Yeah, or shaving. Yeah, hairy legs and armpits. Ugh. Some people get a fetish for that, and it lasts about 3 months, but they're like that all their years. Yeah, all their years, all their lives, all their years. That's a bit an old phrase.
Okay.
Mm.
Get away from that subject.
Smelly French. Let's stink. Let's stink the skunk. Yeah, I'm just loading stuff in the background. Pakistan cricket betting scandal.
Pakistan?
Yeah,
They're allowed to bet?
betting scandal in the cricket, but no, I'm not interested. If you want, I can read it out, but it's going to be...
I'm not interested.
No. Okay. For self-healing concrete, just that bacteria and food. This is a New Scientist, so you know it's going to be dodgy. No, I mean, it's like just reading that headline. It's it might be okay, but sometimes they just totally agenda 21 or whatever, just making up science just to suit their purpose. When it goes on about dinosaurs and whatnot, and it's just really sort of like passing sort of like religion off as science, I suppose, in a way. Oh, there must have been these dinosaurs and they must have roamed the earth and they must have done this and must have done that because you've got these plastic bones to prove it.
Yeah, what's up with this Hawkins guy? Stephen Hawkins.
Stephen Hawkins, he's the one in the wheelchair, is he? Or is that?
Yeah, did he fall over in his wheelchair?
Did
And was knocked on the head or what?
Recently? Oh.
Well, yeah,
was
because
dropped
of
on his
the
head as a child or
statement he
something.
made.
No,
No.
apparently, although he's such a super genius, he's got this special rare disease that only he can get, and that means he has to go around in a wheelchair and invent this amazing philosophy that everybody agrees with because they feel sorry for him.
Yeah, but didn't you say his statement now? Stephen Hawkins refutes God's theory.
Oh yeah, I did have that a few days ago. Yeah, I can have a look for that.
So that's what I mean. Did
yeah,
he have
yeah.
an accident in his wheelchair?
Well,
and
yeah,
knocked
he's
his head
decided
over?
that you don't need God in order to have a universe. And it's just like, what are you scientists doing, guys, talking about God in the first place? It's got nothing to do with you. Stop going on about religion. Weird old crackheads.
I know, but
It's like,
unbelievable.
I'll just say to that, God is the universe, and it's like that's not even coming from the perspective of I believe in God. I'm not a Christian or anything like that, but I mean God is the universe. You just need to like read it carefully enough and think about it. Then he is all that is, sort of thing. So yeah, the supreme being. If he's the supreme being, then he's all that is. So yeah, it's not as a prelude to worship or anything like that. But I mean, I'm just like where does he get off making statements like that? I mean, it's like none of his business. What, did he have a bad time? Did nobody answer his cell phone when he wanted to have his arse wiped or something? And so he did this tirade. There is no God. There is no God. Oh, my bum.
Well, I mean, he's saying God has no role in the universe.
Well, yeah.
I'm thinking, come on now,
God has no role in science.
I mean, are you bored or something?
Yeah. God has no role in science. I don't get it. It's just like. Traditionally they'd say like God inspired them or something, and that's sort of okay. But when scientists are going around to find God, it's like a woodworker trying to find metal in wood or something. You don't get wood. Metal doesn't grow in wood. So it's stupid. Yeah, it's like dogs and cats, chalk and cheese, two different things. Okay, I've got.
No, I just thought it was stupid.
It was just dumb. Yeah. He's just got nothing better to do, so he just wants to wind people up.
Well, at least he's in the headlines, so...
Yeah, it's nice for him. Stephen
Maybe
Hawkins, we don't need God.
Said, people
Yeah, I've got the 9-minute YouTube clip, but I doubt Rev will want to play it. It would just be awful.
No, I don't want to listen to him.
No, it's just boring.
That would be blasphemy.
Blasphemy. With me, it's not even that. It's just these people are depressing, and they do have the symptoms of depression. For me, depressive, I think is the correct word. They just tend to depress people with their stupid statements. So it's like, why are you saying that? Oh, God was never there for you. Well, you are part of God, and so God is part of you. So you should just look to yourself to find Him, sort of thing. You've got to develop yourself. It's all self-empowerment. But that's what I've always been like anyway. And that is unfortunately what's called Satanism now. But never mind. Everything's inverted. It's really up to you to find it for yourself.
Yeah, I believe in God, so
Yeah.
That's just mad.
Yeah, but I think he's within as well as without, sort of thing. So I don't think you can scientifically find him, because he would know that you're looking for him and move out, sort of thing. But he's really in everything. So whatever, it's sort of daft with like trying to put your tiny little human mind, like in a battle of wits against something that's like could be infinite, sort of thing. You're always going to lose. Like a calculator versus a PlayStation 3 or something. Like your average Texas Instruments calculator against a PlayStation 3 is obviously you're not going to be able to do as many calculations as fast as the PS3. It's like 100,000 times more powerful. It's just sort of like, I don't know, engineering or something, science even. I'm throwing the science back at him. No, spin that chair. Okay, so I got quite an interesting one. MI6 man jail for trying to sell secrets. This isn't the one who's dead. Friday, 3rd of September 2010. That's today. An MI6 worker. I always used to annoy them by calling MI6 M16. Because I said they walked around carrying M16s.
Okay.
Yeah, but anything annoys them because a bunch of shitheads. Who don't get paid much either, from what I heard. They get paid what they're worth. It's like you can't get a job anywhere else, so you end up working for the Secret Service, for that stupid moronic dwarf of a woman. How dare you? He doesn't even see the importance of like making an announcement a daughter-in-law's been killed, or died in a car crash. Doesn't even see it. Doesn't even see the relevance of it. Why should I bother? Better things to do. I've got some tea to make. And later I'm gonna have scones. Anyway, an MI6 worker who tried to sell secrets for £2 million was given a 12-month jail sentence today for his act of betrayal. But Daniel Horton, 25, will be released almost immediately because he already served half the term while on remand. Boo. Horton, a software engineer of Hoxton, East London, pleaded guilty to 2 offences under the Official Secrets Act at an earlier hearing. He offered to hand over sensitive computer files containing information about intelligence collection and MI6 staff list agents from the Netherlands, the Old Bailey heard. So maybe they really aren't getting paid enough. They at first thought it was a hoax, but later it tipped off their UK counterparts, and Holton was arrested after arranging a meeting at a London hotel in March. Mr. Justice Bean told him, "The effect on the SIS, Secret Intelligence Service, credibility, and the morale of its officers of this kind of act of betrayal is a serious matter." The judge said he did not know whether it was true, as Sultan claimed that he was hearing voices that told him to do it, but said he was a strange young man. Do you get that? Holton's claimed that he was hearing voices that told him to do it. You must give them the secrets. Yeah, it was me. The court heard that Holton, that's what they do. That's one of the little, one of their exciting jobs that they do to people is whisper in their ear, like at work, when you're at clubs. They'll do it outside your room, whisper to you, leave put little carrier signals in through your phones and stuff, so you get voices coming to you at 4 in the morning when you're asleep. It's like, if you've seen the Prisoner series, the 1960s one, I think there's the key to the prisoner or something. But basically, the methods they use in that series were methods they had been using anyway, and sort of like, here's some old ones and here's some new ones for you, sort of thing. They've done all those sort of tactics on people, like moving them to special villages where everybody's an agent and everybody of course denies that they are. They'll like move you to a different place saying, "Oh, that was all a dream, and we're here to help you, but first you need to tell us ... It's really important." Or all those sort of scenarios. And I mean, like sort of the James Bond scenario. James Bond's totally rubbish, but I mean, in a more realistic thing, like the woman wouldn't even like sleep with him. She would have like sex with him basically, unless he told her this and that. Because he's always like, they always try and do that. They're there to like seduce him, but he always like, he's enormous python or whatever, and he just like always has his way with them, and just walks off, and then they're like, "Oh, James," and then they get hit by a nuclear missile or something, and so they sort of, every single time they fail in their mission, and yet all these women just like every single movie they don't seem to realise it, and they just desire him more. And it's like they should be like thinking, "You're a scum, you're a scum." you killed all my agents, all the other secretaries. You killed them. But no, it's James. It's male. It's sort of like, I don't know. I would say it was male chauvinist rubbish, James Bond. But I'm not sure. I just thought it was total junk and just had no real connection to reality. It's all like boy fantasies, really. James Bond. But I mean, yeah, they do apparently recruit based on those sort of premises, though. They do try and persuade people that life's actually like that if you're the secret services, if you work for them. And it's not all just like listening to other people's phone conversations or stuff like that and trying to spin them out of control for your own benefit, sort of thing. Sometimes, or to justify some stupid posh jerk who wants to claim that he's straight when he's actually gay or whatever. Anyhow, to continue, the court heard.
I'm just reading. Sorry, I'm just reading a story here.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. I really. Man wanted in oxycodone theft. This is potent medication, right? This guy walked into hang on a minute. He walked into an industrial compound.
Okay.
$150,000 of oxycodone. Pink. It's like a synthetic heroin.
Substitute to heroin?
Oh, what the heck?
Oxycontin, yeah.
No, oxycodone, they call it over here.
Okay.
Anyway, carry on. I was just amazed. I thought I'd just share. Sorry.
Yeah. How much again was it? $100,000? It was called
$150,000 worth
Wow.
of them tablets.
Wow.
How can he just walk in there and just...
That's a van load, isn't it? I don't know. Unless they sell them for a huge amount. Unless he was like posing as a delivery van, and at the same time they had a delivery of the items, he sort of like unloaded it into his van instead of like loading it into the shop. Or maybe I was giving them people ideas, but one of those sort of scenarios would work.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, this is quite a long article.
And I just looked up. I just looked up. The price is about $50 for one pill in the U.S.
Wow.
On the street.
Yeah, and they either sell them in rolls.
Wow.
They can sell them in rolls or in bottles. So yeah, I mean it's. I suppose it wouldn't be that much of a storage. Be a wheelbarrow load or something, or a shopping trolley at least.
Anyway, carry on.
Okay.
I was just amazed by it.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. They must be looking.
Why can't I ever find a truck like that?
How high could you get on that? Would you just have to lie on the floor and have it fed to you?
No, I would just sell it. I would be laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah. You'd probably just be laughing from contact
my own
with
PIN
it.
number.
The court heard that Houghton tried to sell two secret staff lists, one containing the names of 387 individuals and the other with the home and mobile telephone numbers of 39 individuals. Piers Arnold, prosecuting, said, "It was a personal betrayal of these individuals with potential, if it had fallen into the wrong hands, to compromise individual safety." Houghton had worked for the Secret Intelligence Service, also known as MI6, between September 2007 and May 2009, the court heard. During this time, he accessed a number of computer files belonging to the British Security Service, MI5. Oh, okay. So Secret Intelligence Service is MI6, British Security Service is MI5. Great. Apples and pears. Relating to the work of both intelligence agencies, both men, yeah, it's actually two guys, one guy for each one. It's all radiating out of them. all the intel is radiating out of them. They live underground. They just have these drones on the surface that they operate. Marked secret or top secret. Probably accidentally gave away a top secret then. But never mind. They were described as sensitive capabilities files, important tools developed by SIS staff for the gathering of intelligence for national security purposes. Mr. Arnold said Houghton dishonestly removed them from his place of work and in August 2009 tried to sell them to the Dutch Secret Intelligence Service. After a series of telephone calls, it was agreed that he would fly to Holland for a meeting in January this year, at which the Dutch agents were persuaded that he had worked for the SIS, as he claimed, and they tipped off MI5. Houghton later offered to sell the files plus the staff lists for £2 million, What was the exchange? Oh, I think it was like $3.5 million or something. But eventually, a fee of £900,000 was agreed upon, which is $1,700,000, I think. It's something like 1.5 times or something. So there'd be like $1,400,000. He said that he had copied the material onto a disk, which he had taken home and copied in turn onto 2 memory cards stored at his mother's address. Hamilton handed over the cards to the Dutch at the London hotel on March the 1st and was given a suitcase containing £900,000. Yes, same as I said before. In the lobby, he was arrested and handcuffed by plainclothes police officers after they wrestled him struggling to the floor. An assessment carried out by SIS found that if the intelligence files he handed over had fallen into the hands of a hostile nation, it would have posed significant risk to future SAS operations, while MI5 faced similar risks. By complete coincidence, this storyline was emulated in Sherlock Holmes about maybe a month ago. It's basically the same storyline. Yeah, they done a remake of Sherlock Holmes as 2010 version, and basically some guy copied some. No, he stole the memory card that contains the information on the Ministry of Defence's secret missile plans or something like that, and gave them away to some guy. And sort of the mystery was who was the guy he gave it away to, because he'd taken it, and then he was the one that they found murdered, the guy who given it away. And so it was a chase after this guy who might have had might have got the card, but at the same time there was this spate of random apparently murders going on where people were using like voice emulation software and mind control. Basically, they didn't say it directly, but they were using mind control to get all these people to give clues to Sherlock Holmes. It was Moriarty, his arch enemy, was behind it. I think it was sort of an update on the original story of the James Bond. Sherlock Holmes story, because it was his arch enemy was Moriarty, and that was how he actually dies at the end of the series. At the end of the books series, he sort of like goes missing. Under they have this fight in near this waterfall in the Lake District, and they don't tell either side. Don't tell what they're doing, and so it's all a mystery. So yeah, it's a bit funny that they just like. They're copying the storyline. Did he get the idea from watching the series, or is this all made up, or is it sort of life for imitating art? Anyhow, copies of the files were also found on a memory card and hard drive at Holton's home, contradicting his claims to the Dutch agents that there were no other copies of the documents he handed over. Mr. Arnold said. David Perry, QC, defending, said, "This was not an offence committed by calculating ideologue to disclose material to a hostile sovereign state." He said the Dutch agents contacted by Houghton at first thought it was a hoax. They thought he was either a journalist or a swindler. Mr. Perry said, "The way he was described by one of the Dutch agents was as a naive young man who came across as a loner." He said the offences were incompetently executed, and it was clear that Houghton would be caught. I'm accidentally imitating him out of the James Bond series. Mr. Perry said he had used his own phone to approach the Dutch, and he had made an attempt to conceal his identity. He also said Houghton, who had been a student at Exeter College in Devon, was employed at a relatively low level as a £23,000 a year software engineer, $35,000, something like that. Mr. Perry said the defendant, who came from a supportive family, had no previous convictions and would go to live with his mother in Devon on his release. The judge told Houghton, "You were employed."
Lovely Devon.
Huh? Come? In Devon, yeah.
Lovely Devon.
Lovely Devon. Yeah, lots of pirates go there. Yeah. And there's lots of butter there as well, and there's there's all sorts of weird things in Devon. But I've heard lots of pirates end up in Devon. Don't know why, really. Just seem to like it. "You were employed by the security services and attempted to sell secret material for very large sums of money. Very large sums of money indeed. Where are they? I didn't even share them with me. I'd have come over to your house and give you a good time. You bastard. In particular, you attempted to sell staff lists. Yeah, he's a corrupted judge, which would have disclosed the identity and homes and whereabouts of agents whose identity must be detected almost at all costs. Oh, he's telling him his job. If the material had found its way into the hands of a hostile power, it would have done enormous damage and put lives at risk. This would be a typical prisoner tactic, actually. It's like the judge would turn out to be another agent of a higher level, you see, and the whole thing would just be a wind-up operation to get him scared. They need to be more programming to be a better agent. On the other hand, you are not an ideologue. If you had been intent on causing harm to this country's interests, you would have chosen a different recipient than the Netherlands. These were unsophisticated offences. You made no attempt to conceal your identity. The judge said he had been unable to resolve conflicting psychiatric reports about him. He told Holton, "You seem to be a strange young man, but whether you were hearing voices at the time, I don't know. If you were hearing voices, they may have had a significant influence on your behaviour, but they could not have been said to remove your responsibility for your actions." He said that since he had already served 184 days, he could be released as soon as the necessary formalities can be completed. It's the end of that one.
Oh, okay, he's out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
actually, you know, I mean, I don't know much about it, but so do you think everybody in the government really is all like the Masons, or they'll shake each other's hand, or are there really still some good guys there? What do you think?
I think.
You were just saying.
Yeah.
With judges too.
Oh no, I was saying that I was from what I was reading, the way he was speaking, he was a judge that was judgmental. You know, he was like judging his assessing his character, but also his experience level at doing his job. So he was more like his what do you call it? Not advisor, examiner. He was more like his examiner. So it's a bit strange. And I was saying that would be a typical sort of scenario in something like The Prisoner, is to put somebody in a situation where they make a cock up, basically, and then you have somebody, authority figure, who like wags a finger, they face some sort of like punishment, but you see it's all just to get them scared, so they're receptive to what's going on. So it's part of the training program, really. It's like it's like if you get caught planting firecrackers outside the headmaster's office or something, and they take you to see the headmaster. You get like punishment or whatever, but the headmaster instead tells you that how to do it properly, sort of thing. Tell you more complete instruction for it. So it's more like public programming for it. Yeah, it was strange.
Right.
Yeah, I expect the Masons are just all involved all over the politics, but I don't think most politicians are actually that bright. I think they're sort of like what you call it, sort of dib dobs, like the Boy Scouts. I don't know, just sort of like more interested in chasing sort of paychecks and getting enough money to live off and stuff like that. So they got their mind on more sort of like everyday things. Right. Not too much difference from your sort of like Jobsworth. That's it. They're Jobsworth sort of people. I don't think they're all like secretly scheming what they're going to do at like Bohemian Grove and stuff like that, and how they, how many sex slaves are going to have, like when we have world government, that sort of thing. If we have world government. I think their minds are more focused on like towing the line, which is a Masonic term, but that's what they do, towing the line, which means following company policy or party policy. But I mean,
what was interesting today, I had to go to court for my son.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Although they're most likely to be Masons, but at a low level. Oh, carry on. That was all.
Yeah, but it's nearly finished now, so I'll catch up with you maybe tomorrow. I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. I don't know if we're doing a Saturday one. If we are, then we are. And okay. Goodbye, my billions and billions of rabid followers. We've got a few seconds left. Yeah.
The Maggot Show.
Whoa!
Hello.